No, I'm fed up. I watched what happened to me and my company. I've watched what's happened. I've talked to business people over the years, what's happened to them when you have political persecution. And now what I've watched what President Trump has done with all these cases. This is just simply, they don't want this guy on the ballot.
Did you know that he oversaw the largest Medicare fraud in America's history? Because Rick Scott broke one of, I guess the only real rules of politics is don't talk about the crimes you've committed. Don't remind people of your scandal. If you committed Medicare fraud, then just hide that in your past. Don't talk about it. It's Medicare fraud. They got a bunch of money for stuff that wasn't necessary or didn't happen the way they were saying. It's just classic Medicare fraud.
If the persecution of Trump has anything in common with the persecution or prosecution of Rick Scott, then it's quite substantive, because Rick Scott's company appeared to have been engaged in pretty serious fraud.
He co-founded Columbia Hospital Corporation, which in 1994 merged with Hospital Corporation of America to create the world's biggest hospital chain. Just years later, he was forced to resign after allegedly overseeing what has been called the largest Medicare fraud in US history. After his resignation, a federal investigation found the company guilty of Medicare fraud. The hospital chain ended up paying $1.7 billion to the US Justice Department.
Ended up leaving the company with a $5.1 million severance package, $300 million in stock, and a $950,000 per year consulting contract for 5 years.
To cover his legal fees, he used $700,000 in taxpayers' money. Scott pleaded the fifth and got away. As governor, he didn't support Medicaid expansion, leaving hundreds of thousands of Floridians without coverage. In 2016, he signed a law to cut state funding to clinics that perform abortions. He had a record of contributing $0 to Miami Beach's $400 million plan to improve storm drainage, and he took more than $1 million from big utility who moved to stop solar power rooftops. Scott's predecessor signed an executive order to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mandated for more energy-efficient building codes. But when Scott took office, he dismantled that order.
Maybe he's turned over a new leaf. Maybe he's turned over a new leaf. Maybe he's turned over a new leaf.